Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show. Now, I am sure in your circles, tiny little circles, big circles, you know of someone, have heard of someone say, "You can never be single. No, I'm always with someone. I'm not those ones. I can't be alone." And when I think about it personally, I've seen and experienced that. But when I look at it, it was back in college. It was just, we were young. Right now, when I look at my circles, that is not a conversation I hear. But the truth is, that has happened, is happening a lot. Now, the question today is, how do you tell if you're dating the right person, or is it because you're just lonely and they are available? Zulu.
And you may not expect this. You knew back in college, back in high school, the language of boredom was common. We were doing things to kill boredom. So they get lovers to keep them company, because, and they keep asking for Mnigani, what's the plan? I mean, they must latch on to something to fill any empty time.
Yes.
When they are not in school and they're not doing some duties, they must do something.
Yes.
And it seemed normal, and it was almost accepted, and now you guys have left me here to be bored. How can you forget me like this?
It was a couple's thing.
And then you wanted this person who can promise to always be there. That's how they date. This person promised to always be there for me.
Oh, God, yes.
And that being there for me was to fill any empty time in my life.
Yes. Oh, did they fill the time?
And they'll chat. Yes. Just to chat.
Constantly.
Just to chat.
Yeah, so where are you? What are you doing? Send me a picture.
That thing to fill that emptiness. Really the subject of learning to fill your own space without importing any outside temporary stimulations is technical. But yet it is so practically necessary. Oh my God, I can't emphasize this enough.
Okay.
I don't know why they left it out in syllabus. I came to realize this syllabus was not meant to build us.
No.
It was not meant for. Many of the things you're doing in school are giving you one-sided kind of skills to do job. But you as a person, you requires a larger curriculum.
Yes.
That's why this kind of spaces where we can discuss it become so important. Those people who ingest it, those people who study this. I learned these things myself, and I realized how liberating and how can I do to make this more available to more of my friends.
Yes.
What the young people are trying to flee is their own company. And you may think it's a problem with the young only. And I'll tell you two ways in which it carries. It can spread, go with you for life.
Oh. Knowingly, unknowingly, subconsciously.
The problem with life is that it has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And you can do something here and it drags on for many years. You can omit something, and that gap, that lacking will be always there when you are 70. And for understanding this, you see, we have been mistaking emotional and mental growth with physical growth. Physical growth, just eat and forget it. Your mother never told you to grow up. They don't prod children. You grow, land walk. They feed the kids.
Yes.
And the children, because they have natural curiosity to stretch and become better and experiment and try, that is what keeps them going. So provide your body with energy. It has a natural urge to grow.
Yeah.
That is what we confused also our internal growth with, that it will happen by itself.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Lies.
And we think when a person has acquired a mature stature in terms of biology and physicality, also the inside has matured.
No. No.
There's those assumptions, and because the physical body is so present,
yes,
it seems to dictate how people view me. If I see people make fun of bodies, they say, be aware of short people, they can pick stones quickly. Surely, why are you making fun of?
People need to stop there. They're so funny and they shouldn't be laughing. But oh my God.
And somebody will say, the problem of dating these slim girls, you can't know whether it's really her shape or is hunger. So you can't know what to do.
No, don't tell me anything you say about big girls. No, stop it.
So
oh my God.
I experienced the body shaming, the
Yes.
when I was very young, because my bald head arrived quite on ahead of time, ahead of schedule in primary school. Before I knew the name
Of what it is that is happening.
I started hearing comments. So they didn't register anything to me because what are we talking about? I had another problem though. My head was not quite shaped yet.
Okay.
There's some boys whose heads take very long to take shape. They look blocky and funny. They have corners here and there. So
Zulula, I'm starting to scratch.
mine was like that, big and blocky. So guys would comment. They used to have a 5 bob that had 7 corners. So in the Michongo, no, so and they count, so I try to count the corners. No, they are not quite 7. 1, 2, 3. No, they're only 4. So people experience the body has been so emphasized because it is physically visible. Until those who are endowed physically are lifted very high. Those who are not endowed physically are diminished. And many people have been carried. There is a musician, I think, a small guy, musician. Then he has attendance of dating very big girls and making flashing it on social media all over.
I think it's called Mr. P or something
It's some,
like
or
that.
Grand P, something
Grand
like that.
P,
And then he makes a show of himself here, and
Yes.
and then the girl keeps going away, coming back. I think she's loaded. She has he has money
He
himself.
has money. He keeps going and coming back.
And they entertain people with their
They do.
stories, putting online, you know. And I realized the game here is not about the people; it's about their bodies, really. So bodies have been emphasized. People are paying money to be added parts of their body to look this way. And sometimes when you talk to that person, when the body is not in the picture, maybe on phone or we are interacting ideas, or I'm reading your posts. What I like about my girl, I keep reminding her, the first thing I noticed about you was not your shape. It was a group she used to contribute, and our comments would attract a lot of attention, and begin to see how we think alike. Before we see each other's physique, we met how we think. It is so unfortunate that how our physique has been given front, until people overlook other critical issues. So today we are discussing this as an aspect of learning how to not fill the voids in your life with outside influences, outside people, and more so not to use the sex tool to scratch a soulish itch. Boredom does not mean, there's some people, boredom sometimes is physically painful when you have serious deficits in your makeup. Being alone is physically painful. It is so hurting not to have anyone. You must talk to somebody. It becomes so restless and people can get panicky. Now, do you know where that is going? When you finally meet somebody, the next fear is what? Fear of abandonment. Because being abandoned will be again shattering.
Yeah.
They're going back to what? They're so afraid of being alone. You're leaving me to be with who? Can't be with nobody. So they start anticipating and doing everything to avoid you leaving. So they try too hard. And you end up feeling smothered and suffocated with their attention. By being so pleasing to the other person, they end up attracting the very thing they're afraid of. Job said, the thing I fear has come upon me. Sometimes fear is like faith. It draws the very thing you're afraid of. So a person who was so afraid of being knocked by cars that he would not walk on the road. He had to walk after the drainage pipe over there, near the fence, over there. And that was his walking style. On the day of his death, a vehicle left the road and came there. Sometimes fear activates something and it attracts it. And we are not saying you cannot feel fear. It's you do not act on and be led, ruled by fear. There are people, because they never learned to sit by themselves. So I'll tell you, because boredom, all of us will feel it. Hey, oh no, you can outgrow it so much. I don't know. That vocabulary no longer exists in my life today. I can be tired, can be fatigued, I can need to rest, but I can never be bored. And I'll tell you the formula. It is so pleasurable to be by myself. I just can't put it in words. By the time you evolve to this point, took me 10 long years. 10 long years. There before, when I'm alone, it was disturbing and empty. And that's where we all start. When being alone is disturbing and empty and you need stimulation, talk to a person, need to be validated, need to be told I love you, to be told you're special, need to another energy, to import energy, or to play a lot of loud music, or to do something stimulating. And this is why people go clubbing, drink alcohol to avoid that space.
Yeah.
If I were to explain to you how many vehicles play deafening music to avoid that space of having to see yourself
in the car. Oh God.
How far people go to mutilate their cars to put very huge sound systems.
Yeah.
Because the more you go, the more the knowing, the disturbance becomes vivid, and you need more loud counter to silence it. So the previous earphone is not working. Now bring another. There's a lady who was so loud, she was knocked by a train. By the time a train comes all the way, what are you really playing? With all the hooting.
Yes, because people are yelling.
People do so much to silence the inner yawning, the knowing, the desiring, and the disturbance. They experience it as something they need to feel quickly. So I'll tell you the solution. The solution number one, there's a formula that says once you learn to be happy in your own company, you never be alone, you never be lonely again. Once you learn to be happy with your own company, you'll never be lonely again. Okay. So loneliness being unhappy in your own company. That is the definition.
Okay.
Okay. Unhappy in your own company. And where does it come from? Now, loneliness is the hunger of the soul. Is the loneliness, is the yearning of your inner being to be connected to something more meaningful.
Okay.
If you did not have it, you would live physically only. You would only eat, exercise your body, and sleep. And that way, the inner being would be totally ignored. It's a necessary attention. It's a necessary ache. It's a necessary pain to tell you there's another inner person asking for attention. So what is that inner person asking for? To be connected to truth. Okay. To be connected to your essence and the reason for living. To be fed with knowledge and some of the knowledge, when you talk knowledge is a very wide thing, but it's to get to know who am I, where am I in the world, where am I going, why am I? Hey, where am I going? For how long am I here and for what purpose? Your inner being is not fed with ugali and githeri like your physical being. Nope. Your inner being is fed with meaning.
Yep.
It's fed with validation that I matter, that I'm on time, and this is my journey for this season. This is the change I make. This is how I count. This is the impact I make in the world. To feel bored or lonely is the hunger to say there's something more than physical contact, than sensual stimulation. That's what your inner being is asking for. It's a blessing to feel bored. Stop running away from it.
Okay.
If you find a way to silence it, you have switched off the alarm, but the danger is still here.
The truth.
That's why people are waking later in life, when they have silenced the alarm for so many years. Now they're waking as if they're waking up. The other day I was asking people a problem that has bedeviled me for so long. I've seen people living as if they are asleep, making decisions that are so self-destructive. And these are functional people. They have jobs, they have careers, they have social life otherwise. But in the space of the relationship, they are so self-destructive. Many times they even shorten their lives by entertaining abuse, by getting relationships in the worst of terms, by entertaining cheating. They're infected with things, they're exploited financially, they keep going back there, they don't go, but they stay. And I say, this person looks normal otherwise.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know I found the solution here? And it racked my head so long. I was wondering, what am I missing? This is my space. I must be about one side. You know, you can't say this person is not learned. They're learned, they have careers. Otherwise, they are fully functional. But this space of relationships, one guy had a lady who would insult his parents to their face.
Excuse me? My friend.
And he comes to plead on her behalf.
What?
To apologize on her behalf.
Huh?
They push, something else comes up, he's trying to compensate. And when they leave, he has become extra nice to compensate for the things she does. And when we have been friends, he will come back to say, nice guy, and you pay bills for you guys to appease.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the lady might have done.
Oh my God.
And he looks like an otherwise sober fella.
Oh.
I came to realize this is the thing people never developed. Their inner being. They did not feed that person with meaning and a placement. Once you feed it with meaning, so this is who I am. This is why I am. And this is what I'm here to do. Therefore, this is what I deserve. This is what I get. This is what I get to have. Once you feed that inner person, it's a slow process, but it's very satisfying.
Okay.
If there's a young person lucky to listen to me on time,
Please do. Take notes.
don't run after the parks. There's a place for entertainment and leisure.
Yeah.
But there's a difference when you're doing entertainment and leisure to flee this yearning. Don't move from one club, from one group to another, from TikTok to the other one. You are running. You'll end up there empty and you will crash badly. It happened to the Mephibosheth. He was injured when he was young. Then he got stuck there.
Yeah.
And later on in life, he's calling himself a dead dog. He never found meaning, never found purpose. Despite being a favorite of the king, having favor with the state and the ruling government, if he had formed a big music group that does not need the part of his body that is deformed, if he had formed something advisory, intelligence collecting, he would have found all the backing of the state. But he was stuck there. What happened? If you do not develop the inner person, you will never process life. You will always need support, crutches, affirmation, validation, stimulation, distraction, entertainment, sleep, sex, alcohol. You will always need something to endure existence.
Oh, goodness.
And these are the means you see.
Yeah.
People are talking about 5 years to come. Me are trying to figure out how to get it to Friday. People are struggling.
I have seen that one. Oh my God.
It's a joke.
Way.
It is hinting at a deadly truth.
Yes.
Somebody skipped the stages of feeding the inner being with meaning. So then, where does dating come in this space of being running and lost?
Yeah.
It's because when you are with a lover, you're deceived that you will find intimacy. You will find the love by nature involves embracing another, connecting so deeply.
Yeah.
It involves merging your soul, your existence with another and feeling experience. Love caused God to look for people to experience him. Love by nature wants to be touched. Because he's love. He created people and placed them only a little lower than Elohim. David glimpsed where people are placed and they are not aware of it. There's another whole family God has. Archangels, the topmost, and you have cherubims and seraphims and elders, you have angels, a whole rank of a robust family. God is not lonely. His family is very robust. But all those people have one thing. They are servants.
Okay.
They are not sons.
Yes.
So they are servants. They don't carry God's nature. God wanted a person to belong to his family, to experience him and to give him something he does not give any of those other creations. He is spirit. Anybody who leaves this earth without experiencing the spirit of God, you'll be laughed at by those guys. Something they even never imagined God dwelling in them, becoming one of them. This is to say, if you part of why you see people coming to the end of their life or somewhere middle and feeling completely lost, it's because that part that was made so special, that was supposed to yearn for Elohim himself, that was supposed to rank with God, to function. At the time he told Moses, I've made you a God to Pharaoh. God to delegate God-like duties to you, like he did to Moses and did to Adam, to manage this. He wanted his sons to manage his empire, his children to manage. And when I use sons, remember he made them man, male and female made them. Yeah. So he just using. So it's to say that part that was so terribly wonderful, terrifyingly, when you come to see what you're capable of, you're also scared. You get to know what he was saying when he said you're fearfully, wonderfully made.
Yes.
You find it hard to believe it. That sometimes I was looking at those mega ships When you look at it itself, cruising the sea, looking like a city, how do they conceptualize it? How do they keep proportion? Every piece of metal to become proportionate, such a huge thing. When you also see how they throw it into the water, they put it on rolls and they throw it. You think it will fall. Just get into water and finds its balance. And you say, look at how much capability we are given. The guys who are focused on their thing, they can build such a huge thing. Even looking at it, it's staggering. The structures they are built in Japan, in China, the buildings they're built. Look at how much you are given. Now, you are share. That part of you is what is yearning to be brought out, cultivated, irrigated, exercised, nourished, tended, to be given attention. Boredom is a yearning for something that is hungry for attention. What you're supposed to do, once you feel it, sit with it.
Okay.
Attend it by the following. Number one, start learning, start getting materials. Start listening to the kind of materials and music and things that seem soothing inside, not stimulating outward.
Okay.
For me, I did not know the name, but one time, there are some accidents that God organizes to work for you.
Okay.
My brother was working for Minister of Education, and he was a driver, a big brother of mine, a step brother. So he was a driver to the Minister of Education. So he would often bring cartons of spoiled books and leave them at home.
Okay.
So, and I was in primary school.
Yeah.
I read so many books.
Yeah.
I read series, Swahili books. To this day, I still have phrases and rich imageries I caught that time. I did not know. Looking backwards, and I was very good in, I liked storytelling. So, insha, composition, storytelling, I would always get that 9 over 40, and teachers would read it for entertainment. I had so much material and so much twists and surprises. For me, that was the feeding of the inner person, the meaning. It began to tell me, I have gift in telling stories. That's an area. That's what your soul is asking for. What are we here for? What are some of our, what is it?
Yeah.
This was not just about, and the reason I was not intimidated when people body shamed, I was proud of so many things about myself.
It's like, so you're saying, have you seen this at the part of mine?
Exactly. Locally, self-esteem comes when people are attacking you. They are putting something. They're putting you down, and you have nothing to lift yourself up with. So the moment they would ridicule, because my home was not the proudest one. My dad is selling drugs, and the other kids here come from well decent families. And when they discuss their dads, when we have Parents' Day, they're ridiculing. I had, luckily, without knowing, done so much of self-development until I'm comfortable in my skin. My clothes were not the newest, they're tatars, patches and there. But I knew when the exam comes, you will acknowledge me. Wait until the exam comes. I will have my day. So I had something to be proud about, you know.
Yes.
I was very poor in games, so I couldn't play. Sometimes I tried to kick the ball, I kicked the ground. I don't know why I missed such a big ball. And I injured my toe.
Let's just stick to the right thing.
And I came to realize when you go to till the farm.
Yes.
I daydream, I forget we were tilling. I'm given animals to take home. They come home on their own. I was supposed to take care of the animals. You know, because I'll carry books and forget. So me reading books.
Yes.
I remember one time I was reading along the road. Some of the books are so absorbing and you don't have time. You want to use every moment to read, and you can't wait to brag with the phrases you're learning there. You can't wait to, show people what you're learning new, and teachers are happy to see those people who are eager. Even they themselves just want, like, you discuss new ones.
Yes.
They're happy too,
yes.
And I don't know, I didn't know it anchored my soul at a time that would have been very turbulent.
Okay.
Kept me developing. So the one solution, once you feel boredom, start to learn, start to find out things about yourself, start to experiment in many things. That's the time I was dreaming with things and trying kites.
Yeah.
We could not afford kites, but we would make them with the cartons. So they enjoy to see them flying. Make boats with the papers, and when the water pool, it has rained. You go put them there.
Yeah.
We kept rabbits, tried this, tried the other, and many things don't register with you. Others register so deeply, like that would take the lid of a bucket and throw it. Then it will seem to almost stop mid-air because it's revolving very fast. It will stop, almost stop. I mean, what is holding it there? Because it's revolving very fast. When the speed of rotating goes down, it also comes down. So that's thing troubled me so much. I don't know centrifugal, centripetal forces, but it intrigued me. I would do it even at night just to watch how it will not go quickly with the gravity. What is making it hold itself there? How can I do more of that? You know, even today, I'm still intrigued by flights and how they fly, and I like experimenting and seeing things. There were things in me that were yearning to be engaged,
yes,
to be explored. That is what boredom is about. It's a thirst of your soul. It's supposed to stretch out. The second thing, so don't answer it with romance.
Okay.
The second thing about what will happen, what you're supposed to attend to that yearning is, as long as you have moments of emptiness and down and depression and feeling dejected, hopeless and bland and lost direction, it's an announcement you're not ready to be anybody's partner. Love is the last thing on your priority now. What that feeling of lost, emptiness, it's a yearning for life, not love. Develop a life that is engaging all around, every day, 24/7.
Wow. Okay.
If you have moments of boredom and downside that you need to run, and it means you have never found your path. And if you try to date, that marriage will take the place, that relationship will take the place, that emotional connection will take the place of your purpose in life, and it will be so unsatisfying and draining because it is not engaging the parts of you that were created to hold a tool of life, work a craft, release an experience, impact the world. This is a person, this is a relationship, and the person has their own life, and they are not always available. Love only works when you have a life and I have a life.
Yes, that is true.
Find your life. Once you find your life, Mwikali, you'll never be bored. You always have things waiting to be studied. You always have books on pending. You have a queue of things to follow upon. You have things. Once you find your place, the boredom actually falls out of place, falls out of the vocabulary. It never happens. I'm either tired, I need to nap. After I nap, I have a lineup. In fact, after I found what I needed to do, I began to use materials and audiobooks to lull me to sleep. As I wait for sleep to come, even those moments. It got so deep. I was afraid if I marry, a lot of time will be taken away. Let me rush and cover this at least up to there before.
Up to where? I don't think it has stopped. No, that you're done, it hasn't.
I only adjusted.
Yes.
And I was afraid, if I marry a person who does not have a flavor for this thing.
Yeah.
You know, at one day in my house, I had an audio thing playing, approaching the house. And when my wife came in, I told her, you have fulfilled some of my childhood dreams, and you may not realize it. I love listening to the things you listen, and to know that you're listening to things. You may not know how much that means to me, because it means we are journeying together.
Yeah.
And you don't find it pissed off when I'm always playing things where I am. You know, it does not take our time, of course. But when people are doing things you don't relate with, sometimes they can irritate you. But the fact that you can relate with and you can bring up ideas. So remember, boredom, loneliness, depressive, hope is a sign. In fact, a positive sign you have not found your life. Find your life. Don't try to find love. Yes.
You know, I'm listening to these conversations and I'm like, we did not know probably those things. And it is true. I think almost every one of us has experienced that feeling of, I really do not know what is going on. I do not know what is happening to me. But when you get that phone call to step out, you're like, oh yes, sometimes you become the broker, just come, whatever it takes for you to just be out there and not face you and listen to you and what it is that you need. And sometimes, even as grown up as I am, there are moments I will be like, I want to be alone. I will not go to the shop, I will not go to work, I will not do anything, because today there is a need to just be alone. And to listen to that, it's just been verified, it's rubber stamped, that Sinuko off.
You're right, you're right.
So remember to fall in love only when you're ready, not when you're lonely. Being lonely means you are uncomfortable with your own company. You have voids and emptiness within you, and you're supposed to work on filling them with growth, not running after the drag of outside stimulation. Reason? You'll be using a physical tool to scratch a soulish itch. I don't know how he does this, but it's one of those things that he does. And it will never satisfy. That's why this kind of relationships people get into to kill boredom dry up as soon as they come up. They have no root because the people aren't deeply connected with themselves. Truth, again, you will never get planted and established if you keep running instead of digging. Better to sit with your boredom and listen to what it's trying to tell you. Loneliness is often an ache of the soul, a thirst in your spiritual being, yearning to be filled with self-care and alignment with higher ideals.